Clive Davis used to torture Luther Vandross.
Luther Vandross was a legend in the music industry, but underneath the surface, he had a lot of dark, devastating secrets. Allegedly, Luther was controlled by the powerful elites who tried to harm black men in the industry like him. But was Luther just a victim of his time? Or was he trying to sound the alarm on something far more sinister? Luther was a mysterious man. He was a man trying to balance society's expectations, fame, and some allegedly powerful elite group controlling black artists. It's truly unbelievable how much weight he carried on his shoulders. Behind the scenes, something was always happening. But at that time, people never understood him. It's only recently that the dots have started to connect. If we remember from way back, despite the fame, Luther always made sure that his life was private. He made us fall in love by composing love songs that were compassionate and heart-wrenching, but we never really knew anything about his love life. Luther himself rarely spoke about his own experiences, and this was not a preference, but because being different could get careers destroyed. This was the pressure he found himself under. Luther once described his romantic life as a string of unreturned heartbreaks, times of alienation and longing. He had even confessed to never have been in love. Can you believe that? It's a really painful irony for a man whose career was built on love songs. But the big question is, was Luther's guarded nature simply his personality? Or was he hiding something deeper? Friends close to Luther, like Patti LaBelle, later revealed that he struggled with his identity. Patti was even blunt about how he feared losing his female fan base if he came out. And he was also afraid of disappointing his mother. Because back then, gay relationships were not welcomed. So Luther stayed closeted. Now, it was great that Patti gave us these insights, but at the same time, it wasn't right on her part to let out bits of Luther's life, which he struggled so hard to keep private. Actually, Luther's fears weren't totally uncalled for. Society in general was cruel to him because he did not fit a mold. Artists like him had to appeal to an image, and stepping outside could be the end of a career. But this was some kind of societal pressure, or was something more calculated going on? Now, this is where things get interesting. There have been rumors for decades about what really goes on behind closed doors in the entertainment industry. Whispers of exploitation, manipulation, and control have followed both Hollywood and the music industry. Once issues of race get involved, these whispers get even louder. The popular belief is that the powerful white elites ruling over so much of the entertainment business have exercised some kind of power over black artists. Luther often emerges as a central figure in the discussion. Fans and critics have long since speculated that his reluctance to declare his orientation on stage was not some kind of personal preference. He was worried that he'd get punished if he came out. Of course, this takes a much darker turn when you consider the rumors flying about a powerful white mogul with a tie to Luther's career. It would seem that for Luther to have become a legend, he had to do some not so nice things in the industry, and that took a lot out of him. Now fans are starting to understand some of his behaviors from back then. He was trying to expose the white men for making the black men gay for the sake of fame. Mainly only white men whom he said did some stuff to Diddy, and other men in the industry too. And it's absolutely insane. But fans believe that Luther liked to manipulate and control the people. And that is because of his mentor, Andre Harrell, being victimized. Andre enjoyed manipulation and control. So everyone believed that his mentee was the same. But here's the kicker. Andre supposedly learned the art of manipulating and controlling from this very particular white man. This very man, whose influence went further into affecting other black artists like Diddy, is said to have been manipulative and exploiting. Fans have speculated that this mogul played a big role in shaping and molding Luther's career, but at a great personal cost too. Not only his, but also that of other black artists. Some even say that this man not only controlled Luther's image, but forced him into compromising positions behind closed doors. Of course, this is hard to prove, but it does follow an emerging pattern of behavior a lot of people believe exists within the industry. The artists tend to be gagged and manipulated by those with control and power, leaving them rather helpless. Luther wasn't the only one to speak out against this. Dave Chappelle is arguably one of the most vocal critics of the darker side of Hollywood. He once famously said that black men in Hollywood were coerced into demeaning roles or situations as a form of control. Some of these alleged elites have been accused of not only taking financial advantage of black artists, but also forcing them to succumb to compromising situations to sustain power over them. Though such speculations are not confirmed, they are part of the larger narrative of harm that occurs in the industry. Luther, leading an alienated personal life, would refer to his personal life with very few direct words. When asked if he was happy, he often dodged the question, replying that it depended on the time and place. When he also joked about the great price he had to pay for such privacy, wondering out loud if it was all worth it. Was he trying all along to warn us against the pressures he found himself himself under? And if so, why didn't we understand at the time? When Luther passed away in 2005, he left behind a legacy of music that still moves hearts across the world. But his personal story remains a mystery, one filled with questions that will never be completely answered. His friends, like Patty, revealed the fears that kept him silent. These stories about Luther paint a portrait of a man torn between his truth and the expectations of stardom. And then there's the bigger picture. Luther's story is one chapter in the bigger story of Black artists and what they face in Hollywood and the music world. People like Dave, for example, have continued speaking out against the systemic problems which are still unresolved. Once Dave had to leave the production of The Chappelle Show, he went to South Africa. And in no time, whispers about his mental instability started to circulate. This was apparently done by the white elites to present him as a crazy man. Of course, Dave refuted those rumors, stressing that he was simply stressed and overwhelmed, not crazy. That was his price for not compromising and wearing a dress as part of the comedy. The elites wanted him to appear feminine, and he told them that he was uncomfortable in a dress, so he had to pay the price. Luther also paid the price. He had to compromise and stay silent about who he truly was, which is honestly devastating. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Did Luther try to warn us all? Was he a victim of the powerful white elites? Let me know in the comments below.